Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Jody here. Thank you so much for clicking on another video. If you're new, welcome to the Fam Bam. If you're not new, thank you so much for coming back. I bring to you another client tutorial. This is one of my returning clients. She was in Miami for her birthday and she hit me up asking me to do her makeup. So as usual, I'm starting off by priming her face. And again, I'm using my Ride or Die Ember Elise moisturizing primer, and I'm putting that all over her face. Alright, and I also went in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer all over her face again. This has just helped to fill in the pores and make her pores look, um, smoother. Alright, so right now I'm going to go in and do the brows. I'm using the NYX uh, eyebrow gel in the color Espresso, and I'm using this to fill in her brows. So once I was done filling in the brows, I went in with some concealer to clean up the brows. This is, I believe it's the MAC Studio uh, Fix Concealer, the one that comes in the little, the individual size round jars. And I use that to clean up her brows and give it a shape. Now the color that I'm using on her is NC45. So I just made sure to go in with a, smaller brush to get around the brows, to get rid of that lighter halo look. That's not the look we're going for. And I'm just using this brush just to clean up around the brows as it's a little bit more precise and get that perfect shape. Alright, once I'm done with the brows, I go in with the eyes. So I started off by priming her eyes. I'm using the P. Louise Rumor 04 to prime her lids. As you can see, it's pretty light on her because she, is very melanated. So she has she's darker skin, so this color is going to come out pretty light on her, and this is just going to help whatever color I put on top to pop a little bit more. Alright, so now I went in with the Dose of Colors Friendcation palette. I don't quite remember what the name of this color is that I used, but it's pretty much started off with a light brown color and I buffed that into the crease. I believe this color was Churro, and I used my fluffy blending brush to brush that into the crease just to create that transition color there. So after I buffed that color in from the Dose of Colors palette, I went in with the Jaclyn Hill palette and I picked up a darker brown, and I'm going to use that to define this eye look and deepen up that outer V area. So I went in now and I cut the crease after placing those transition and defining colors on the eye. So I'm just cutting her crease. I'm doing a uh, somewhat half cut crease. It came 3/4 of the way out to the outer V of the eye, and I'm just using a flat brush and the same eye primer that I used to prime her lids to cut the crease. So once I finished cutting her crease, I went back into the Jaclyn Hill palette and I picked up those two light pink shimmery colors from the top row of that palette and I placed that on her lids. So here I went in with a little bit of a one of the lighter of the two pink colors that I mentioned before, and I put that a little bit more to closer to the tear duct area just to brighten up the eyes a little bit and give it a little bit more pizzazz and dimension. So I'm just going in and reblending that pink color to the color on the outer V and just making sure that everything looks like I want it, nice and seamless. Alright, so I just wanted to give this look a little bit more sparkle. So I went in with the J. LaRue Cosmetics pigment in the color white gold, and I just placed that on the lid just to give it a little bit more sparkle. Now you can't see it here in the video, but once you saw the eyes in person, the eyes just twinkled uh, a little bit more, you know, than just the regular shimmer. So I went ahead and I placed that on her lids using some mixing medium. Now time for liner. I went in with my tried and true Inglot gel liner in the color number 77, and I used that to create my first wing. So I'm going in with another liner here. This is a white liner, also from Inglot in the color number 76, and I placed that above the first wing liner I created. So the reason I placed the white liner down is because I wanted to add a pop of color to the liner, I wanted to add pink. She was wearing a beautiful bright neon pink skirt, and I wanted the eyes to somewhat match the skirt. So I laid down the white eyeliner first, and then on top of that, I went in with the J. La Rue stack, neon stack, and I picked up that bright pink neon and I placed that wherever I put the white liner. So I'm just going back in with my black liner. This time it was just a black liquid liner. And I'm just reinforcing that black wing line that I made. Once I put that pink color up, above it, I lost some of that black. So I'm just going back over and reinforcing that black wing liner I made initially. Alright, so I went ahead and I popped some lashes on her. I got these lashes from Amazon. Just some, nice fluttery bold lashes I thought would go well with the look, and I just popped those on. And these lashes really made the look come together. So because that pink color was a loose pigment, it created a lot of fallout on the eyes. So I went in with a makeup wipe and I just wiped away whatever fallout was left on her face. And then I went back in and reprimed her jaw area because I wiped away some of the primer that I had placed there initially. If you're liking this video, go ahead and smash that like button. I also want you to share this video as well as subscribe. It's free to subscribe, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button below as well as that notification bell to be notified the next time I upload. So I'm going in with a color corrector, which is the LA Girl Orange Concealer or Corrector. And I use this to color correct the dark areas that she had around her mouth. So as usual, I'm going in with my Ben Nye palette. I don't remember the name of this shade that I used on her, but this is my Ben Nye Olive Brown palette, and I just selected the correct color for her. I spritzed her face with a little bit of the Smashbox primer water, and then I went in with the foundation. Okay, so I went in with concealer. I used the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the color Deep Olive. and I placed that all on her highlighted area, so under her eyes, down the bridge of her nose, her chin, her forehead, and a little bit on her lower jawline, just to give it a little bit more definition. So I wanted a little bit more brightness under her eyes, just to make her look a little bit more awake. So I went in with the Kevin Aucoin Central Skin Enhancer in the color SX11, and that certainly did the trick. That just brightened up her under eyes and made her look a little bit more awake, a little bit more fresh. Once the concealer was blended out, I went in to set the under eye. I went in with the Sasha Cosmetics Buttercup powder, very popular powder, and I just used that to set the under eye and bake just a little bit, just to uh, set that concealer and so that it doesn't budge. So I'm so sorry for the change in the quality, guys. The camera that I was using initially died, and I ended up using my husband's phone for this second portion. So what you're seeing now, me just dusting off that Sasha Buttercup powder, and setting her under eye and the rest of her face with um, the Sephora foundation powder. I'm now going in with a little bit of the MAC Raisin Blush. I didn't think that was popping enough to match her eyes, so I went in with another blush. This is from the Morphe Blush palette, which unfortunately is now discontinued. And I picked up a little bit of a pinkier color, and I applied that to uh, her apples of her cheek as her blush. So now I'm just going in under the eyes. I'm just putting back the same transition colors I did. So starting off with a light brown color, smoking that out a little bit. Went in with the lighter pink color in the inner corner, and went back in with a darker brown color just to smoke out the ends of the lower lash line. So I wanted to open up her eyes a little bit more, and I didn't want to use a white. So I went in with a nude eyeliner pencil, and this just definitely opened up her eyes. Then this eyeliner is from BH Cosmetics. Alright, so I'm just applying some mascara to her lower lash line, or her lower lashes, I'm sorry, as well as her uh, upper lashes. Um, So just a little trick for you guys. If you're putting on mascara and it touches anywhere else on your eye, do not wipe it off right away. When it's wet, it will smear all over. Allow it to dry completely and then use a brush and it will flick right off with no issues. So as our highlight, I'm using the Dose of Colors highlight in the color Fuego. uh, which is fire in Spanish, and that it was indeed beautiful highlighter. So I just went ahead and placed that on the high points of her face, her the top of her jaws, on her forehead, a little bit on her chin, Cupid's bow, and nose. So the last step that I do for anyone's makeup is lips. So I started off by putting some Vaseline lip therapy on her lips, and I do this for all my clients before I start the lips. I then went in with the MAC, it's not cork, chestnut lip liner, and I went ahead and lined her lips with that. So because the eyes were pretty dramatic, I kept the lips a little bit nude. So I went in with a nude lip color from BH Cosmetics. Don't remember the name of this color. And on top of that, I went ahead and glossed up her lips. And I placed some Pat McGrath lip gloss on top of that lip color from BH Cosmetics. So here I'm just doing any last minute touch-ups, anywhere where I see anything that needs to be touched up. I just went over everything, just making sure that everything looks good and is sitting right on the skin. Anything that needs to be fixed, I go back in and fix or reblend, just so that it is to my liking. So the last and final step before reveal is to set everything. I went in with the MAC Fix Plus and I just sprayed that all over to set the skin.
Oh, I love it.
Pop of pink.
Huh?
That matches the skirt, the pop of
Yes.
pink.
Yes. I love it. Oh my God. It's so pretty. Thank you. I love it. That is bold. I like it. It's gonna match so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,